Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Catholic Apologetics. My name is Gregory, and today we're going to talk about how history vindicates the Catholic Church. Now before I begin, let's start with a prayer. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancto. Amen. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, secutor in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti. Amen. All right, so history is a very potent weapon in apologetics. Now, it cannot be solely used to justify or explain a Catholic dogma or teaching. But it is a tool that I feel like most Catholics don't use. And the reason they don't use them is because most Catholics are not good in history. They just don't know history. The large majority of Catholics, especially since Vatican II, have been watered down in their catechesis. And part of the public school education or whatever concomitant to that is most Americans just aren't steeped in history. And certainly you could say this about Protestants. Most Protestants think, we end public revelation with the book of the Apocalypse, which Martin Luther wanted to get out of the Bible. And then there's like no church writing until Luther. And then there's Luther or Calvin, wherever their denomination stems from. And then there's nothing until their mega churches, pastors' books that came out, 10 years ago. But history is extremely important. Cardinal Newman, 19th century, and I believe he was a Protestant who converted to Catholicism. He has this great line. It's like, to be deep in history is to cease to be Protestant. And it's true. So you can look at the early church fathers, the apostolic fathers, like Ignatius of Antioch, for example. And you can look at the early church fathers that go beyond those first 100 years or so. So the apostolic fathers were like the apostles, so to speak. But then you go further out than that, someone like St. Augustine. And you can see, based on their writings, which are not canonical, and we do not see to be inspired by the Holy Spirit, they're more like historical records and kind of give a glimpse into the lives of the nascent church, the nascent Catholic Church. And I believe Ignatius of Antioch was the first one to use the term Catholic, and that was only like in 105 AD, so it's very soon after the death of John the Apostle. But these writings help, and they help vindicate what the Catholic Church teaches. Now, we'll have a separate episode on apostolic succession. But if you read Clement of Rome, who was, I believe, the fourth pope, and you could read Eusebius's History of the Church. You can read these things, and you can see, and there's other scholars, you can see that we always believed in baptism for children. Always. We always believed in the perpetual virginity of Mary. We always believed in the idea of purgatory. We always believed in that the Eucharist is the body and blood and soul and divinity of Jesus Christ. We always believed in the Assumption. We always believed in the primacy of the Bishop of Rome. We always believe in these things, and there's tons of other things, but we always believe these things. And you can go to the apostles and these other people and say this. We always believe this. Because a lot of Protestants aren't good at history either, right? And so their churches kind of keep them ignorant in history because that's how they rationalize the existence of their Fifth Baptist Church of Main Street or whatever denomination they're in. They don't want you to read the Church Fathers, or when they do read the Church Fathers, it's always in a distorted way. So you could always say, look, we've believed this for 1,500 years prior to Martin Luther, all the aforementioned. Or you can flip it and say, the rapture didn't come into existence, this idea, until the British minister Darby in like late 19th century. We never believed in rapture. We didn't believe in sola fide, salvation by faith alone, until the 16th century reformers. We didn't believe in sola scriptura for the same amount of time. We never believed that there was this mass apostasy like the Mormons and some other people believe that happened with Constantine. So these things never happened in the first 1,500 years of church history. So again, history can be a tool to help you. Yeah, I believe in the rapture. Well, nobody believed in the rapture for the first 1,900 years of church teaching. Well, salvation by faith. Well, nobody believed that for the 1,500 years, first 1,500 years of church history. and then they'll go to the primitive church and they say, well, give me the proof of the primitive church. And this is the thing, you always, and this is a future episode in closing, always put the onus on them to prove their specious beliefs. Well, Constantine did this, and and there was a mass apostasy. Okay, prove it. Show me when. Show me where. Show me in the church documents of whatever century. So if it's the 4th century, show me in Augustine's writing that he's writing about that. Or Ambrose or somebody. Show me. Show me. Where does St. John Chrysostom say it? Whoever it is. Prove it. Prove it. They can't prove it. Because history exonerates the church, the Catholic Church, and the church fathers and the apostolic fathers do as well. Guys, post in the comments, please. Agree or disagree. Take care, God bless, and pray.